is hockey, the world's greatest show. Let me introduce you to the Devils you know. New Jersey Devils. New Jersey Devils.
Hello, Devils fans. Hello, hockey fans. Welcome to the Devils You Know. Back in the habit, game 2. All right. 2 games into the season, and we have seen one hell of a shit show and one hell of a... Well, what's the opposite of a shit show? There's no opposite of shit, really. We just saw a good show, and we're gonna talk about that. If you saw the thumbnail, you see JESPER BRATT and Connor Brown. Even though BRATT was not one of the 3 stars, Devils 3 stars, or 3 stars in general for that matter. His game was so good. His breakaway, shorthanded, takeaway, breakaway, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Connor Brown, 2 solid goals, both from Gritsuk. Both from Arseny Gritsuk. But before we even get into that, it's new week, it's Monday. Tonight we're in Columbus. Hopefully my friend Don can start saying Gritsuk and not say New York Rangers instead of New Jersey Devils. The first time Don came on, Don LaGrega, my good friend, and I'm not making, I'm actually, yeah, I am, I'm ripping on him a little bit, but I'm not hating on him. I love Don. But right when the game came on TV last night, the first words out of his mouth when he went to go say New Jersey Devils was New York Rangers, and he went immediately put his head down and says, I knew I was gonna do that. And then, you know, I should have taken that clip just to show people, because it was such an odd way. Because I'm gonna talk to them about it on Thursday when I go see Dano and Don, because then you can tell that Danico all of a sudden kind of froze up and got a little uncomfortable, and really you could see he was sitting very stiff and still, and like kind of just staring right at the camera with his black rimmed glasses on. You could see he was waiting for them, because he was speaking slowly and kind of skipping over his word a little bit until they put the whatever they put on the screen at the time, so he could talk over that. He was right after Don said the wrong team name, he got uncomfortable and was almost like it was almost like the 3 seconds between when he had to talk between with his face on screen and then them switching to like whatever highlights they were showing while he was speaking. In that time, he just couldn't wait to be off the screen. Maybe because he was, you know, wanted to like lean over and even though he didn't chuckle vocally, maybe he wanted to give Don a little punch in the arm, like, haha, you bastard. You know, maybe he was waiting to do that. I don't know what it was, but it was pretty odd. Not odd, it was a funny situation. Anyway, so the Devils come out just, I don't even know how to explain it. Markstrom was solid, and then also not. I'd like to see Allen the next 2 games. I'd like to see Allen against Columbus, and I'd like to see Allen at the home opener against Florida. I think Jake Allen is the better goalie to play against Florida. We'll see if I'm right about that. We'll see who plays against Florida, and we'll come back on Friday or Saturday and we'll talk about that, because that's, you know, Thursday. I'll be there. If you're on my Twitter account, X account, Devils Joint X, you will see live videos. You'll see maybe some live interviews with fans, a couple of quick live clips with Danico, Don, Salvador, maybe a player or two, depending on what time it is, and if I can get into the right spot, which I'm supposed to be able to. It's always nice having the press pass, but yeah. So first of all, in fantasy, I always like to talk about fantasy. Fantasy hockey. Luke Glendening in leagues with face-off wins. Luke Glendening is a secret weapon. He's like a murderer. I think he had 17 face-off wins the other day. I don't know how many it was. 14, 17, whatever for fourth line center. The Devils are killing it on face-offs. Every Devil is good on face-offs at this point. It's been really cool. Connor Brown, 2 goals. Jesper Bratt, 2 goals. Luke Hughes, 4 points. Yeah, I shit on Luke Hughes. I'll shit on him all summer if he's going to cause problems for my team. I don't care if he comes in and has 4 points in 2 games. That's great. That's what I want. He's on the Devils. That's the team I like. People think I hate these players and I just want to get rid of them. No, I just want them to be normal. I just, and it's in the case of the Hughes, I just don't want to keep hearing about Hughes brothers, Jack and Luke and Jack and Luke. Like, I like to hear players being called on the ice by their last names, and I don't like to have to hear Jack and Luke. I just don't. I didn't like hearing Henrik to Daniel, to Henrik. I didn't like hearing that either. It wasn't, it sounds bad. And whenever I hear it, it always seems like, whenever you hear that, it always seems to turn into like a turnover or some shit play. Just say Jack Hughes comes up the front. Hughes, when you say Hughes in a certain context, you know which Hughes we're talking about. You're gonna know which Hughes, is on the power play, in certain position, or you're gonna know which Hughes made a defensive play, because Jack isn't the one who's gonna do that. Luke has been very good defensively, in my opinion. I've made countless videos of just little plays Luke has done. Luke and Brett Pesce are a great pairing. They're a great pairing. I really love that pairing. I'm glad they're both long-term. That's a long-term pairing, just like Hamilton and Siegenthaler. Sorry, my dog just came in here to annoy me. So, anyway, going into Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay just came off their first their first home game, which was a loss, and it was only 5-4, so it's not like they got killed. And the Devils won 5-3. They also didn't get killed by the Devils, but we did kill them. If you look at the shots, if you look at the hits, if you look at all that stuff. But I guess what we'll do is we'll go through the goals. There's 8 goals in the game. Let's talk about them. It was a little less than 10 minutes in. I think it was like 8 minutes and 20, or maybe 8.5 minutes in. Timo Meier scores from Hischier and Mercer, all of their first points of the season. Meier's first goal, Mercer's first assist, and Hischier's first assist, right? Then, like 2 minutes later, maybe less, probably a little less than 2 minutes later, Connor Brown from Arseny Gritsuk. And, of course, Luke Hughes with his 3rd assist. Gritsuk's first point in the NHL. Beautiful pass to Connor Brown. First goal as a Devil in regular season, of course. Then we have more points for players who already have points in this game. Nico Hischier stuffs one in, and he gives Timo Meyer his first assist. So now Meyer's got 2 points up on the board for the night, and Luke Hughes gets another assist. That's 2 points for Luke Hughes. That's 4 points on 4 assists on the season so far for Luke Hughes. He has not scored a goal yet, but he's got 4 assists. So you know, there these like the one for Jesper Bratt's first goal, they were good assists, you know. So yeah, I complained that he didn't go to camp. I complained that he wasn't doing this and this didn't happen or this didn't happen. But that's what you do when a player you want to be in the lineup and you want to be a part of your team isn't participating. It should piss you off as a fan. So fuck all of you who might say to me, look, Hughes is doing good. I don't want him to do bad. This is like politics in a way, okay? But it's not. I'm gonna give you just this idea. It doesn't match because I don't dislike Luke Hughes. But it's like if someone I didn't vote for president got into office, and then which happens right. It's happening right now. The guy that's in office, the people who didn't vote for him, they don't want him to do well, even though he is leading their team. You understand? So even though he is the leader of their team, they would rather him fail them than him than just go along with, okay, hopefully he does the right thing and does well, and in the meantime, just like we all did when we didn't even know who was running our country. We didn't even know who was running our country because most of us who aren't idiots realized that the person they said was running our country didn't even know where he was. So still in that case, I was mad, not at him. I was not hoping he failed at anything. He didn't really do anything to fail. He didn't do anything. But I didn't want him to. If he was doing something, I want him to do it right. I want it to get done properly. I don't want him to fail in his actions. That is my team. Just if I get traded to the LA Kings from the Devils and I don't like Kopitar, I'm not going to blow the fucking game for the team because I don't like my captain. Anyway, point is, I criticize Luke Hughes and the way he acted over the summer. That doesn't mean I don't like him and don't want him to do well. I want him to have those 4 assists. I wish he had 6 assists and 2 goals. You understand? Okay, so I think I said enough about that and brought politics into this, which I didn't really want to do, but it was just a point I wanted to make. And then we got Yanni Gourde, who in the second period, it was 3-0 Devils going into the second. You got Yanni Gourde from Braden Point and Crozier. I don't really know much about Crozier, but Braden Point I know a lot about. I think it was his 3rd assist. Yanni Gourde's new to Tampa Bay, right? Might be his first goal as Tampa Bay. And then about 10 minutes later, it became 3-2. Wait, did it become 3-2 10 minutes later? It was 3-1. Yeah, 3-2, Ryan McDonough. And then shorthanded goal. Jesper Bratt. Unassisted. Bing bang baby. That's right. Radish scored that 3rd goal late in the 3rd. That's why. And it was 4-2 Devils. That was it. The game was over. There was still about 15 minutes left in the 3rd, but it was 4-2, and the Devils were ready for shutdown time. And then what does Arseny Gritsuk do? He takes the puck from a pass from who? Simon Nemec, or Nemec, if you want to call him. Nemec to Gritsuk to who? To Connor Brown for his 2nd goal of the fucking game. His 2nd game as a Devil, his 2nd goal as a Devil, his 2nd goal of the game. Connor Brown's the man. He's got a great contract. I am so happy to see him. Of course, then of course Radish had to come in and put another goal past Markstrom. So Markstrom's not really doing well in the goals against average department. I would, I mean, that's my assumption because I'm not looking at his exact numbers at the moment. But let's look at our matchup coming up tomorrow against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Kirill Marchenko is their goal leader with 3. Our assist leader is our goal leader is Connor Brown with 2. Our assist leader is Hughes with 4. Werenski for them is 2, so both defensemen. And Merzlikins and Markstrom both have 1 win each. So, it's an it's so crazy, the schedules, because the Devils don't play the Rangers. First of all, they only play the Rangers 3 times. Sorry, I lost my microphone there for a second. 3 of them are at MSG. No, 2 of them are at MSG. 1 is at the Rock. So the Devils get 1 home game against their biggest rival. The Islanders-Devils games are never very exciting. Not many people are looking forward to that battle. The Islanders aren't really very good, and most of their fans and stuff want Patrick Watt out. I just saw a really funny video, actually. At the home opener, they were on Saturday. It was on Thursday. Was their home opener? They were giving away white jerseys with their new ad on them, and their ad is a pharmaceutical company, like a big pharma company. So they made they kept finding groups of 2 people. One was like a mother and daughter, and they're like, say, let's go Islanders, and they said it, and then they give them a jersey. One was a father and son. Now, this father had a blue Islanders jersey. The son had the blue Islanders jersey with, I forgot what number. I think he might be wearing a Zach Parise Islanders jersey, the kid. And the father, I don't know what he was wearing, because he's wearing a regular blue home Islanders jersey with orange numbers and letters, or I didn't see letters, but the numbers on his sleeves were orange. I've never seen a blue Islanders jersey with orange letters made by Adidas or Fanatics. I don't think that ever existed. I don't know where that came from. I saw that, but they were giving these jerseys away, and the irony is the ad on these jerseys is a big pharma company, and that's just so New York. It's so New Jersey, too. New Jersey, New York is the same evil, the same devil, I guess, if you will. Anyway, so we're going into Columbus. If you check out Devil's Joint X, either my shorts on YouTube or on Twitter, you'll see the meme that my pregame Columbus meme I made with one of a kind of newer celebrity, Baylin Dupree, known for her Tourette's syndrome. Throwing an egg onto the counter and calling it a weenie. So I just put the Devils over her face and put the Columbus logo over the egg. And she goes, weenie! And then she throws the egg and cracks it on the thing. And then her friend grabs another egg, which is I made a garbage can. It's funny. Check it out if you want to check it out. I'm going to predict, and let me know your predictions. I'm going to predict that Cody Glass puts in a goal in Columbus. I'm going to predict a 3-1 win with Jake Allen in net. I can't really predict anything other than one. You can't start making multiple predictions because then you say, oh, look, I got one right, but I also made 3 predictions. So I'm going to go with Cody Glass gets a goal. If you have a prediction, let me know. I don't know if you're watching this on the live section of my YouTube because I record this live unlisted and then I list it. Then it's also on Substack, it's also on Spotify, and then it's also on YouTube regular videos. Once it comes up on Spotify, it also pops up on YouTube regular videos. Wherever you are, leave a comment and let me know who you think might score. And if if Cody Glass scored and you hear this, come back and let me know that. Well, congratulate me. Come back and congratulate me. I'm looking for some people to come on and come chat with me about games and stuff like that. The Devils You Know, as you know, is a new podcast, and it's just getting started. This is only the second regular season game that I've covered with this new podcast. So I'm always looking for guests, or even, not every episode, but semi, regular co-host or something like that. If you want to talk Devils hockey and get your opinion out there, please let me know. You're welcome to join me. And with that, let's go Devils. I'll see you soon. Game on.
This is hockey, the world's greatest show. The man's reduced you to